Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about Ewing sarcoma, a rare but aggressive type of cancer that primarily affects young people. So, what is Ewing sarcoma? Let's start with an overview of what cancer itself is. Cancer is not just one disease, it's a collection of diseases that share a common feature: abnormal, uncontrolled cell growth. Normally, cells grow, divide, and die in an orderly way, but cancer cells don't follow these rules. They grow out of control, and unlike normal cells, they don't stop dividing when they should. Over time, they form lumps or masses called tumors, and in many cases, these cancerous cells can spread to other parts of the body, a process called metastasis. Cancer begins when changes or mutations occur in our DNA, the instructions inside every cell. These mutations can be caused by a plethora of factors, or they can just be random. Ewing sarcoma is a type of cancer that specifically affects the bones and the soft tissue around them, which is like cartilage or nerves. It's known for growing quickly and often spreading or metastasizing to different distant parts of the body, such as the lungs or other bones. Each year, there are a little over 200 cases diagnosed in the US, which makes it quite rare compared to other cancers. It primarily affects children and young adults, with the average age of diagnosis being just 15 years old, which that means teenagers, often in the middle of growing up, are facing a life-threatening disease. Interestingly, males are about 3 times more likely to develop Ewing sarcoma than females. So, how is it diagnosed? Early signs of Ewing sarcoma can be subtle and easy to miss. The most common localized symptoms include on and off pain or noticeable swelling, usually around the long bones of the legs, arms, pelvis, or chest. If the cancer has spread beyond its original site, you might also see more general symptoms like frequent fevers, fatigue, or unexplained weight loss. Doctors typically use imaging scans like X rays, MRIs, or CT scans to visualize the tumor. These scans can show the size, the shape, the location of the mass, and whether it appears to have spread. After imaging, they'll perform a biopsy, which means they surgically remove a small piece of the tumor. This sample is then examined under a microscope and tested to confirm that it's Ewing sarcoma. Treatments usually involve a combination of chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation therapy, but we won't be diving into that today. So, what actually causes Ewing sarcoma? Ewing sarcoma is driven by a very specific genetic error called a fusion oncogene. Genes are like the recipes that teach cells how to function. In this case, two genes that aren't supposed to be together accidentally fuse, creating a new one with new instructions. This fusion gene produces a fusion protein that turns on other genes, which help cells survive, multiply, and spread, which are all the classic hallmarks of cancer. In about 80% of patients, the fusion happens to be between a gene called EWS, found on chromosome 22, and a gene called FLI1, found on chromosome 11. The resulting fusion is what drives the disease by disrupting normal cell behavior. Now, why does understanding all of this matter so much? If the cancer is diagnosed early and hasn't yet spread, the 5-year survival rate is relatively high, about 75 to 80%. However, if the cancer has already metastasized by the time it's been discovered, survival rates go down to just 30%. By studying the EWS FLI1 fusion and learning exactly which genes and which proteins it influences, researchers can develop treatments that directly target these changes, rather than using generalized treatments such as chemotherapy. Understanding Ewing sarcoma has broader benefits too. It's a classic example of how fusion genes can drive cancer, and what we can learn from it could also help us develop better treatments for other fusion driven cancers. By continuing to study Ewing sarcoma, we not only improve survival rates for young patients, but also expand our understanding of cancer as a whole, paving the way for more effective targeted therapies in the future. Thank you all for listening.